Hey guys, I just wanted to go through a problem I had with the original Prusa i3 Mark II, where I couldn't actually find it online, so I decided to make my own video. Essentially what I had going on is my Z-axis here, the extruder and the nozzle here, was digging into the bed. And so it was fine on when it was scanning on this side was okay, and then this side is the worst. So I'll show you guys what was going on. That. So I click the button, I go to calibration. First thing I do is mesh bed leveling. There you go, you see it dug into the bed. So I got the error message, bed leveling failed, sensor didn't trigger, debris on nozzle, waiting for reset. So, let's reset this. Alright, start it back up. Cool, so obviously it has not been calibrated because it didn't work. So, let's move axis, let's move Z up so we can get a better look. So I read on the forums, and there were a few suggestions saying that my axis here was bent. So I took it around, I changed, made sure everything was Loctite and everything was good. So my x-axis was okay. So the next step, I tried to fix it myself, but the next step was to talk to the Prusa customer support. So they had me go through some calibrations. I went to the Z-axis calibration, the XYZ, none of them worked. All of them had the same kind of problems. They had me reset to factory defaults, so all the settings have been reverted to default. I moved the probe around, the PINDA probe here, thinking that it would be a problem with that probe being too low or too high, because it looks like the probe wasn't sensing the magnet or the sensor in here, and it was just going through. So I talked to customer support through Prusa. They told me, after all those steps, they told me the last step would be the probe not working. And I thought that was kind of weird, because like obviously it worked when it was here, but how would it not work on here and here? So through another forum I was reading through, I found out that you can actually test this out. So what I'll do, I'll show you how I figured it out. So I'll actually lower this. So we can see. Alright, cool. So, best thing to do is take something metal, like an X-Acto knife. You're gonna want to go to show end stops. When you click that, it's gonna start activating this probe. And I don't know if you can see, but once I touch it, it turns 1. The Z turns into a 1. When I let go, it turns into a 0. But when I hold it there, and let's see if I can get this done. Oh, okay, it exited. Perfect. Show end stop. So cool. Cool. It's a 1, and when I wiggle the cable, it turns off, but the thing is still there. So it worked better before, but what you can see here is that when I move the cable, the cable that's connected to the probe, the PINDA probe here, this little guy, when I move it, it disconnects. And there's also an LED indicator on the side here. It's usually red, and then when it turns off, the light turns off as well. So, meaning that what makes sense is when it's here, the cable is fine. But when it's here or here, it stops working. So, I messaged the customer support. They actually sent me a free replacement probe. Super quick. I live in Canada, and they sent it from the Czech Republic. And it got here in like 3 or 4 business days. I did not think I'd get it this fast. I looked up some YouTube tutorials on how to change the probe, and I saw that you have to remove some of the what are they called? Zip ties. You have to remove some of the cable ties. And so I asked for a couple of replacements, and I think you only have to change like 2 or 3 in the whole thing, maybe max. But because Prusa is so awesome, they actually sent me 100, 100 zip ties. I hope this doesn't mean that I'm gonna have to be replacing this thing like a million times. But I thought that was really cool. I don't think they really had to do that, but they went out of their way to do it. So I'm gonna end the video here. I just wanted to explain what my problem was, and the next time we go live, you'll hopefully see this PINDA probe working. All right, cool.